in the shadow of the Apennine Mountains, where the Tuscan hills rolled like forgotten waves under a bruised autumn sky. Matteo Rossi stood on the cobblestone threshold of their villa in Siena. The air was crisp, laced with the scent of damp earth and ripening olives from the groves below. His wife, Elena, zipped her suitcase with a finality that echoed through the ancient stone walls. "Don't bother me with calls," she said, her voice cool as the mist rising from the Arno River. "I'll be unavailable for 7 days." She didn't specify where she was going, only that it was for her. A cryptic phrase that hung like the fog over the valley. Matteo watched her drive away in their sleek Alfa Romeo, the engine's growl fading into the winding roads lined with cypress trees. At 45, he was a man etched by time. Dark hair streaked with silver, eyes the color of Chianti wine, deepened by years of unspoken resentments. Their marriage, once a passionate whirlwind in Rome's bustling streets, had soured into a labyrinth of silences. Elena, with her sharp features and unyielding ambition as a gallery curator, had always prioritized her world of art and elite circles over their crumbling family life. The villa, inherited from Matteo's late father, Giuseppe, was a relic of generational strife. Giuseppe had been a stern patriarch, a vineyard owner who ruled with an iron fist, favoring Matteo's older brother, Luca, while dismissing Matteo as the dreamer, unfit for the family business. Luca, now living in Milan with his perfect wife and children, had taken over the Rossi vineyards after Giuseppe's death 5 years ago, leaving Matteo with scraps. A modest accounting job in Siena, and this drafty home filled with ghosts. That evening, as rain pattered against the terracotta roof, Matteo poured himself a glass of Brunello from the cellar. The wine's bitterness mirrored his thoughts. Why 7 days? Elena's absences weren't new. She often vanished for inspirations in Florence or Venice. But this felt different. Her eyes had avoided his, her kiss on his cheek perfunctory. Their daughter, Sophia, 18 and studying in Bologna, had called earlier, her voice laced with concern. "Papa, Mama seems distant. Is everything okay?" Sophia was the bridge between them, inheriting Elena's artistic flair and Matteo's quiet resilience. But even she couldn't mend the fractures. Unable to sleep, Matteo rifled through Elena's desk in the study, where sunlight usually filtered through vine-covered windows. Amid catalogs of Renaissance paintings, he found a hidden envelope. Inside, letters from Luca, dated over the past year. "My dearest Elena," one began, "our secret meetings in Milan sustain me through the monotony." Matteo's heart plummeted like a stone into the Tyrrhenian Sea. Betrayal, raw and visceral, clawed at him. Luca, his own brother, and Elena. How long? The letters detailed stolen weekends, whispers of leaving their spouses, building a new life with the vineyard fortune. Memories flooded back. Childhood in the sun-drenched fields, where Luca bullied him under Giuseppe's approving gaze. "You're weak, Matteo," Luca would sneer, while Giuseppe nodded. The trauma lingered, a generational curse of favoritism that poisoned relationships. Matteo had married Elena to escape it, but now it ensnared him again. Moral dilemmas swirled, expose them and shatter Sophia's world? Or swallow the pain, as he always had? The next morning, under a sky heavy with unshed rain, Matteo drove to the family vineyard in Montalcino. The air hummed with workers harvesting Sangiovese grapes, their hands stained purple. Luca greeted him at the estate house, a sprawling structure of ochre stone and wrought iron balconies. "Brother, what brings you here unannounced?" Luca's smile was polished, his suit tailored, exuding the power Giuseppe had bestowed. Matteo feigned casualness, sipping espresso on the veranda overlooking terraced vines, turning gold in the fall light. Just checking on things. Elena's away for a week. Said not to call. Luca's eyes flickered, until Matteo noted like a hunter spotting prey. As they walked the rows, Matteo probed subtly. You and Isabella still happy? Luca's wife, Isabella, was a kind soul, devoted to their 2 sons, oblivious to his wanderings. That night, back in Siena, Matteo delved deeper. He accessed Elena's email on their shared laptop, password unchanged since their honeymoon in Amalfi. Messages confirmed the affair. Plans for a 7-day escape to a secluded villa in Lake Como, where mist-shrouded waters mirrored their illicit passion. Photos attached. Elena's laughter in Luca's arms against backdrops of alpine peaks and glittering lakes. Rage simmered, slow burning like embers in a winter hearth. But revenge demanded patience. Matteo recalled Giuseppe's lessons. Power isn't in the strike, but in the wait. He began unraveling threads. First, he contacted Isabella anonymously via our burner phone, planting seeds of doubt with vague texts about Luca's business trips. Isabella, with her soft Venetian accent, was no fool. Her family had old money ties in banking. Moral quandary gnawed at Matteo. Destroying Luca's marriage would hurt his nephews, innocent in this web. Days blurred into psychological torment. Matteo wandered Siena's medieval streets, past the Duomo's striped marble facade, where tourists snapped photos under drizzling rain. Emotions churned. Love for Elena twisted into hatred, brotherly loyalty curdled by betrayal. He confided in no one, except indirectly to Sophia during a video call. "Papa, you look exhausted," she said. Her dorm room lit by string lights. "Is it Nonno's anniversary bothering you?" Giuseppe's death had unearthed secrets. His will favored Luca, but Matteo suspected forgery. A hunch buried until now. On day 4, Matteo hired a private investigator in Milan, a grizzled ex-carabiniere named Vito. Over cappuccino in a piazza cafe, Vito reported, "Your brother and wife are indeed at Como. Discreet, but not invisible." Photos arrived. Elena and Luca dining by candlelight, their hands entwined. The investigator uncovered more. Luca had embezzled from the vineyard to fund lavish gifts for Elena, risking the family legacy. Power struggles intensified. Matteo visited the vineyard again, this time confronting the accountant, an old family friend. "Luca's books are off," the man admitted under pressure, revealing siphoned funds. Matteo's motive crystallized, not just personal vengeance, but reclaiming what Giuseppe's bias stole, his rightful share, his dignity. As the 7th day approached, tension coiled like vines in spring. Matteo drove north to Como, the autostrada cutting through foggy plains. Lake waters lapped gray shores, villas perched like sentinels amid evergreen forests. He parked outside their rented hideaway, a neo-Gothic structure with ivy-cloaked towers. Through binoculars, he watched them. Elena's head on Luca's shoulder, oblivious. Climax built under a stormy sky, thunder rumbling like suppressed fury. Matteo entered unannounced, key obtained from Vito's contacts. The interior smelled of wood smoke and perfume. "Matteo?" Elena gasped, rising from the velvet sofa. Luca paled, wine glass shattering on marble floors. Words erupted, cinematic in intensity. "You took everything. My brother, my wife, my inheritance," Matteo accused, voice steady despite the storm within. Luca blustered. "It was her choice." Elena wept. "I needed escape. From your resentment, from Giuseppe's shadow." Revelations poured. Elena confessed the affair started after Giuseppe's funeral, when Luca consoled her amid Matteo's grief-stricken withdrawal. Luca admitted forging parts of the will, driven by fear Matteo would squander the business. Moral dilemmas peaked. Matteo could ruin them legally, but at what cost to Sofia? To himself. In the ensuing chaos, Isabella arrived, tipped off by Matteo's hints. Her arrival shattered the facade. Screams echoed through the villa as rain lashed windows. Powers shifted. Isabella, with her family's influence, threatened divorce and exposure. Resolution came tragically satisfying. Matteo didn't press charges. Instead, he forced Luca to sign over half the vineyard, restoring balance. Elena returned to Siena, begging forgiveness, but Matteo, empowered, filed for divorce. 7 days was your freedom, he said. Now it's mine. Sophia, learning fragments, bridged healing, urging therapy for generational wounds. As winter blanketed Tuscany in frost, Matteo walked the vines alone, the air sharp with promise. Revenge, slow-burned, tasted like vintage wine, bitter then sweet, leaving scars but freeing the soul. The hills whispered of new beginnings, under a sky finally clearing.